The color of quiet. It was a quiet rain that afternoon, the kind that makes everything seem like a memory, even as it est happening. The streets shimmered with puddles reflecting grey clouds, and in the soft hum of the cafe on the corner, two people sat across from each other for the very first time. Myra had always been one of those people who felt everything too deeply. A song could unravel her. A simple look could stay in her heart for days. She carried her emotions not like a burden, but like a second soul, gentle, open, and often too raw for the world. She wasn't searching for love. She was trying to protect herself from it. But the universe, in its strange way, doesn't care much for timing. Elias was quiet in a different way. He didn't speak in poetry, but he felt in volumes. He was the kind of person who could walk into a storm and listen to the wind like it was telling him a story. On the surface, he was composed, even distant. But underneath was a heart that had never stopped hoping, despite the years, despite the losses, despite the fear of never being truly seen. Their meeting wasn't dramatic. It wasn't fate crashing down like thunder. It was simple. He dropped his book. She picked it up. Their hands touched for half a second too long, and in that small pause, something ancient stirred like two old souls whispering to each other across time. They started talking about books, music, the things they missed, the places they had imagined but never seen. There was no flirtation, no practiced charm, just honesty, just presence. The world around them faded. Time, for once, didn't rush them. Days turned into weeks. They met again and again. Always in the quiet places, they talked about fears, the kind you only admit to someone who feels like home. She told him about her loneliness, the way it used to wrap around her at night like a second skin. He told her about his mother's death and how he hadn't cried until a year later during a piano concert when a single note undid him. They never pretended to be okay when they weren't, and that's what made it love, not the grand gestures, but the small, truthful ones, like how he always walked on the outside of the sidewalk, or how she deplays her hand gently on his chest. When he got too lost in thought, grounding him without needing words. The first time they kissed, it wasn't under a fireworks sky or in the middle of a sweeping declaration. It was in the silence between two breaths, during a moment that didn't ask for permission. It just was. It felt less like a beginning and more like a return. They healed each other, not because they were broken, but because they knew how to hold what hurt. They didn't try to change one another. They loved each other with the kind of tenderness that comes from seeing the whole person, even the parts that tremble in the dark. And maybe that's all love really is, for those who feel everything too much. It's not about never hurting. It's about having someone who doesn't turn away when you do. Even years later, when the world changed around them, they still met in the quiet. Still reached for each other in the night, not because they were afraid of being alone, but because they had found something rare, something real.